This will be just a quick airing. I like to talk about Fibermucil when we talk about Cholesterol.
Yes.
Which Cholesterol, that's our capsules that contains the same cholesterol-lowering ingredient as Choco Nuvo.
Sure.
The same potency as well. So if you look at the price of Cholesterol, you realize what an even better value that our Choco Nuvo is. And Cholesterol and Choco Nuvo, that ingredient is approved by the FDA to lower total and LDL cholesterol and to actually help to reduce your risk of heart disease. It works. It's much more powerful in cholesterol lowering than even oatmeal and oat bran. In fact, I have an oatmeal and oat bran that we added that ingredient to it. So it could be the most powerful cholesterol lowering oatmeal and oat bran in the world. You can find it at hsn.com if, like me, you love oatmeal and oat bran. But our Fibermucil, it works perfectly with Cholesterol. It works perfectly with Choco Nuvo because what it does, the Cholesterol and the Choco Nuvo block the absorption of cholesterol, block the reabsorption of bile salts, which actually lowers our cholesterol as well. And then the Fibermucil kind of acts as like a sponge and a broom to help us get rid of it. It is the mildest fiber you'll ever see. It will not cause bloating. It will not cause gas. It just goes through you naturally, comfortably, and it helps to lower your total and LDL cholesterol as well. And it works brilliantly with Cholesterol or Choco Nuvo.
If you'd like to order Fibermucil, this is one where the pricing is going up in a little over 2 hours, $60, $180, $360, or of course the $720 or $1,000. People never ever want to be without this, which is why we have these specialty sizes. Again, for the 1,000 caps, it's only $89
Less than 9 cents a capsule.
No money.
If you really want to see how magical this ingredient is, it's very potent but very gentle. Just 1 or 2 capsules a day or 1 or 2 capsules a meal, depending upon your fiber requirements. But the absence, the lack of fiber pretty much defines the American diet. I said the other day, the lack of lutein, zeaxanthin, the lack of omega-3s, and the lack of fiber. All these healthy ingredients that the American diet just has an unfortunate deficiency of. And this is mild, gentle. Once you enjoy the benefits, you'll never want to leave home without it.
Which reminds me, Andrew, so Andrew had his today's special, The Ultimate Eye, 24 hours ago, and one of the key parts of that was the 2 ingredients, lutein and zeaxanthin. My wife told me that in the middle of the night, Andrew, I actually was saying the words lutein. Yes, I told you, drilled it into me.
At least I was glad you weren't whispering my name, just lutein and zeaxanthin.